All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our featured artist. This is normally when I have them introduce themselves, but I'm going to have to go ahead and introduce her myself. Sophie from the UK has come upon our website, and we decided to feature her. This girl is multi-talent. As you'll see in the interview, we had to pre-record the interview, so it's going to be a few minutes of just Dave and her and the Deeper with Dave segment. We're going to listen to her song first called Sos Bloodline. We'll be back with the interview. And then after that, we're going to listen to Nevi Outlier with his song Voyage. So hang around and chat with us in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking of this. Share the video out, and we'll be back in a few.
Hi guys, I'm SOS. I am a electro-pop artist based in the UK. My song Bloodline has recently been released, and you guys get to have a listen right now.
Soft imagination, but it causes you frustration. Your mind is different from mine. Minor variation, but it causes alteration in the mind of people from the other kind. We are blinded by appearances. We don't know why you don't belong. We are blinded by the differences, and we are the ones who got it wrong. We are all one bloodline. If we just take a little time, we could all reunite. 'Cause we are one bloodline. God knows we are sinful. Don't read this fiction in full. How we only worship what is good. We treasure our demons and banish all the saints that got us dancing to their soul. We are blinded and uninterested. We don't know why you don't belong. We are blinded by our innocence, and we are the ones who got it wrong. We are all one bloodline. If we just
Sophie, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I have risen into the heavens, as you can
Apparently
see with
so,
my back.
yeah.
Yes, I'd like to do an interview from the heavens for once.
How is it up there?
It's very nice, man.
Yeah, it looks it.
It's very nice up here, yeah. Interesting story here. There's a few things I wanted to kind of talk about here. I mean,
All right.
first of all, just like amazing sound, amazing music.
Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but let's kind of go, I guess, sequential here with some of the points. Like, so you got a scholarship. Talk about that process, like how you garnered that, because you got a degree in songwriting. So, like, what did you kind of like submit some material back when you were 18 or something?
I got it into that quite like unconventionally. I didn't even know a songwriting course like for a BA actually existed before I was actually on the course. So I did this busking competition, which is actually something that's quite a big part of my music life right now, is busking. And that was something I did, like a busking competition a few years back. And one of the prizes on there was a scholarship. And I didn't actually get the scholarship through that competition, but I made a few really good contacts through the competition. And the person who actually won it couldn't actually go through with doing the course himself. So the school that I eventually attended asked the people running the competition to submit a few names of people they think might deserve the scholarship. And I was lucky enough to be one of the names, and I was called in for like an audition type interview thing with this uni that I went to. And they just seemed to really kind of like my stuff. They asked me to play a few bits for them, and they asked all the regular questions. Why should you be on this course? And like what my history was with songwriting. And at the time I was quite a novice, I think. Not that I'm a real expert now, but I was very much at the start of my songwriting. And so I was very new to everything, and they were very kind to me, and they took me on even though I knew as little as I did.
Okay, so you were busking before you even went to university.
Yeah, pretty much. So I moved over to the UK from Malta, which is where I grew up. And that's a little island in the Mediterranean. I don't expect anyone to know where that is. But I moved over to the UK, like a year or so before I actually got onto the course and got the scholarship. And throughout that year, 2 years, can't remember exactly how long, I was doing a few bits. So like busking, I was doing some live gigs, just trying to like get my music out there. And like I say, I was just starting out. So I was very nervous, and I had just picked up the guitar. And it was all very new to me. But yeah, I got involved in this competition, which was a busking competition. And I didn't really busk much before that competition. And I didn't know much about it, but I was very intrigued. And I thought, this seems like a really cool, different thing and a different way to present music to people and to commuters.
All right, so let's fast forward. Let's fast forward though. So it's like you get a degree in songwriting, which is awesome. But quick genre, how many people live in Malta? I'm curious.
Oh gosh, now you've asked the question.
So like millions or just like?
Oh no. So it's very tiny. It's a few 100,000 people.
Oh, okay, all right. I was always curious about that.
Island, if you kind of think of the size of London, the island that I'm from is like a fraction of the size.
I would assume it's beautiful though. I mean,
it's lovely. It's a Mediterranean island just below like Sicily and Italy.
All right, so you graduate, and it's like, all right, so music is starting to kind of become your career and everything. I'm just trying to deconstruct how you got like to this current sound, just because like the production, the engineering, the mix is awesome. And I mean, some of the names that are mentioned in your bio, like, you know, Lourdes, Alessia Cara, even like Halsey, I definitely hear some Halsey in this, is this big, like this type of sound, you need big production, stellar engineering, like dramatic changes, like that's just part of the scene. And so you've actually kind of you're not just the songwriter, you're kind of in the production. Like, how much do you put your hands into the actual engineering and the mixing of this?
So this was basically one of the songs off of my 5-track EP, which I haven't yet released. I'm releasing them all as singles, and it's stuff I wrote while I was still at uni. And I was collaborating with a lot of artists and songwriters there, and just that kind of really inspired me to write this kind of music that I've been releasing. One of the songs obviously being Bloodline. And at the time, I think I was in my 3rd year, so my final year in uni, I was really coming to terms with like the technology side of making music. So I would write music previously on a guitar or on a piano very kind of organically. But throughout my last year on uni, I fell in love with the more like production elements, the more electronic sounds that kind of pop music had started really using at the time. And so all those influences that I was hearing in Lord's music and in Halsey's music and stuff like that, I loved that in their sound. So I was like, why can't I do that?
Yeah, I love this. I mean, was it a week or was it 2 weeks ago with Ben Cody? Yeah, I guess it was like with Ben Cody, one of our featured artists in the past. Like, he's at Berkeley and his major is just like professional music. So, I mean, I just think that is so amazing. That didn't exist when I was in college, where it's, you know, it's everything, every aspect of the music industry, mixing, writing, you know.
Yeah. It kind of comes back to the course that I was on with this whole songwriting. I had no idea it even existed, and I fell in love with it. I was on scholarship for the first year, and I actually extended, I literally took out a loan so that I could complete the whole 3-year course and see it through.
All right, so last thing, I just I lose track of time sometimes. I just try and keep this thing going, but like full circle. So I was just checking on Facebook, like you're still busking now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I want to understand. So it's like, I think a lot of people relate busking just to like people who live on the street or something, like they're homeless people or something. Yet I keep seeing it more and more where it's like people they're not poor or homeless. It's like they just like to perform all the time in front of people and just like it's almost marketing in a sense, and just kind of getting yourself out there. now people are taking videos on their cell phone, putting them to YouTube, and it's like, oh, you got a little video there.
Literally.
And so like talk about just your mindset of like, that's where you started. You get your degree, you produce this amazing music, and you're still doing it.
Yeah, so like I was mentioning, like, although I really love the whole songwriting and the getting involved with the production, and a lot of which in what you hear with Bloodline is stuff that I did myself. While I love that, I do love that whole performing and that connecting with your viewer or with your listener. And I think busking is a really unique way of doing that. And I think a lot of people's mentality towards busking is the whole homeless kind of begging for money type of thing. But something that's happened, and the change that's happened in London, which is really interesting, is that they've started to really like regulate it. And it's a whole scheme where they're trying to like give busking a good name again. And that's why the whole busking competitions come into it. And there's licenses as well that you have to.
Yeah, and there's even applications where, like, if the busker has an app or something, like, you can send money to people like through the app. You don't have to like drop $1 in the case.
A friend of mine has a little card reader now and a little sign saying how if you don't have cash, it's fine. You can pay card. Just wait for me to finish the song, and I can sort you out on card. So.
All right, so I added you on Spotify, and there's actually a few bands named SOS, but you're S.O.S, no period.
Yeah, just S.
So that's what's unique about it. But where else can people find you online in terms of like social handles? Is it that same, just like, specific?
So my website is sosofficial.co.uk. There's all the links to all my social media on there. I think it's Facebook and Twitter is Sophie's Official, which is SOPHIES Official. And Instagram is my big favorite at the moment. Like, of all the social media sites, I'm on Instagram a lot, as is everyone nowadays. And my Instagram is sosofficial.uk. But there's all the links through my website, so people can go on there and check me out.